Another screenshot sent to me by Anita Maxwell with her conversation with Wade Paris, Cindy Murray's former live-in boyfriend. It says, all of them up at night. Meadow was babysat somewhere. Now, he's referring to May 1st into May 2nd, 2025. The timeline. And it's just some of Anita's responses. That's not the important part I wanted to bring up. I said, when is Wade referring to? Anita says, the night before the report of the missing children. Thursday evening. That Friday morning, Meadow likely brought back the party almost night go on ATVs and steel. So what you're saying is that they all get together at Daniel's every night, get high and party, and then go out on their ATVs and steal from people? That sounds about right. Why I sent the house being broke into, tools stolen, and 2 cars. It's not far from Daniel's. And Malaya told us she would go with them, and they left kids locked in the room. So you're telling me that this was a common thing, that Malaya would go with Daniel on the ATVs and they would run around all night tweaking out, stealing from people? Well, that makes so much more sense as to why Danny and Jordan and Kent and everybody are all involved in their sketchy behavior. You guys are all chomos. Danny, you're a sex offender. Cindy Murray's exes are all really sick pedos. At age 3 to 6 there, Joey. I get that Malaya was really affected by her time with Joey and what she suffered, and it affected her up to and including this very day, and was a contributing factor into how she developed what seems like a real dislike for her own children. She couldn't relate. Lily was so much happier than Malaya was on the daily, and Malaya brought her down a notch. So you're telling me that Malaya and Danny would just leave the kids locked in the rooms at night and go out all night stealing things? Drop them off over at Jordan's? I could see that. It's really interesting, Anita. Don't even worry about it. The fact that you're evoking such nastiness and hatred from, well, the top on down says everything about how you, well, not only are being forthcoming and honest and just what Jack and Lily need in this situation, but you're blowing the lid wide open on the actual cover-up that's going on. Wow. Amazing, Anita. She sends me this morning. She's doing a little bit of coffee and lashing out, lashing back. This Marie Frasier says, Anita Maxwell Johnson, why don't you grow up? You don't know any of these people. Stop spreading rumors. Anita responds, I'm grown up. I'm 54. Detectives know them and not spreading lies. If you know them, then you do rugs too and are a monster as well. They unalived 2 innocent children. Lily and Jack, detectives are closing in. You mind your business. I appreciate that Anita Maxwell is not afraid to stand up for herself. And the more that we bring you these small little snippets and videos, the more that you realize what's going on here. We don't need to describe and beg you to believe us in any sense of the imagination. there's an agenda to make Malaya seem like a victim here and to cover up the real problem at hand and everybody's involvement, because Cindy's right at the middle of it. She's a major enabler to all of this right now. It has everything to do with what happened between 10 p.m. May 1st and 10:02 a.m. May 2nd, when you guys decided to call the RCMP. And then Anita is filling us in with all of those details, which is so far from the story that they portrayed to the RCMP that day. It's sad. No wonder it sounds like absolute bunk BS.
Thinking about her behavior, because it was very odd to me.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happened to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No."
And then
that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No."
And then when I woke up, Malaya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, "I don't hear Lily and Jack." So I jumped straight up out of bed. Silence is never a good thing when you have kids, because you know they're getting into something.
And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them. I miss them.
The last few days are very stressful.
Why don't you go have another drink there, Malaya? You and Durwood get together and drown your sorrows away.